Hi, I'm Spencer.
And I'm Ripley.
6 years ago, we tested this idea together with a playlist of 500 songs.
Now the playlist has grown, changed, and doubled in size, and I don't know all the tracks anymore.
Each episode, we listen to one or two songs from the updated playlist
to see what stories, memories, and emotions they unlock. Two friends.
One playlist.
This
is HeartATrack. What up, what up, what up?
What up?
Well, I asked first. 3 times.
The sky, gas prices,
wow.
My adrenaline, blood pressure,
clinical depression,
etc. Oh, fair.
Accurate, I would say, and I bet any listeners like, yup.
And fitting for the episode, I think.
Yes. Yup.
Yeah.
I was trying to go on brand for what we're going to be listening to today.
We know what's
for
up.
Sure.
We know what's coming, to a degree.
Yeah. Little bits and pieces. I know what I have to offer. You know what you have to offer. But like I said, last week I queued it up with, things about the news and state of the world at any given time, that kind of stuff. So I don't know if it's something we should dive face first into right away, or do you want to shoot some shit or no?
I don't know. You got some shit to shoot?
Probably not until after we listen to the song.
Fair enough. Let's dive right in then.
Alrighty. So today's track is Trouble Every Day by Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention. This is
Zappa! I missed the first Zappa track. Yay.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's
my goodness.
A couple milestones here's some shoot to shit. Shit to shoot.
All right. It's happening anyway, folks.
Yeah. Well, not only are we now in our very first double-digit episode, this is episode 10, and if you've been listening so far, thank you, and welcome to our first double-digit episode, but it's also our first time that an artist from my playlist has been repeated and shown up for their second appearance. So, yeah.
Oh, now I know what you were saying. You teased it to me. You were like, it's an art. I know you'll like it. I know you'll appreciate it. And I'm like, I don't know. Weird Al, probably. You're like, nope. I'm like, well, then I don't know. I forgot.
Yeah. I refused to tell Ripley what it was all week long, even if she was trying to pick my brain. I'm like, no, it's just one that I know you like.
Yeah, that's Zappa.
Let's toss on Trouble Every Day, and we will rendezvous once it's over. I've written a little write-up, that's to be redundant, of this song, because I wasn't nervous about this song and this topic, but I was more not sure how I was going to talk about it. So obviously, as we've had Zappa on here once before with You Didn't Try to Call Me, and that was one of my more, I don't know what adjective to give it, more not serious stories, but just, kind of personal, deep. These are all personal, but that one's a little deeper,
Right.
And this one, I think, runs very deep, just into an emotion that's really odd for me. And when I say it's hard to talk about, I don't mean because it chokes me up or makes me emotional. It's more, it does, but that's not why it's hard. It's hard to describe it, Right. And so what I have here is, obviously this is a Zappa track that's more straightforward and biting on social commentary, right?
Mm-hmm.
And unlike
he tends to do.
Yeah, his later work is more wacky, silly stuff, and fart jokes and sex humor and stuff, and I'm down with that too, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But this this track, Trouble Every Day, is from the same album as You Didn't Try to Call Me, and which is his first album, Freak Out,
Nice.
which I have read several times in my research and interest of music that it was the first double album ever made. Are you familiar with that term?
No, I don't think so, unless you're referring to a 3-sided album.
Well, four.
Four?
Four-sided, because you'd have... Yes.
Oh, wow. No, go ahead.
Yeah, it's when your album, your record album would come with 2 vinyls,
Oh, that's a completely different thing than I was thinking of.
Oh, okay. No worries. But yeah, this is like for example, The Wall by Pink Floyd is a double album.
Right.
Comes with 2 records,
Yeah.
And
the 3-sided album concept is a thing where, depending on how and where you drop the needle, it's 2 different tracks on the same side of the record, because there are 2 spirals there.
Gotcha, yeah.
But not at all the case. You're talking like box set type.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like the beginning of box sets, per se.
Sort of. Well, not necessarily a box set, because it's a full album. It's its own thing, but there was so much work done that it's...
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that overflow.
That it's
Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about.
That's all good. Sorry if I sound like I'm correcting your terminology, but don't want to confuse anybody. So yeah, I've read several times that that's the first double album to ever be made, and I think that's a milestone in music history, which is sweet. And this song, Trouble Every Day, is my favorite song from that album. So I guess not really a spoiler alert anymore now that I've said that. There will be no more songs from the Zappa album Freak Out on the playlist. Those are my top 2, are You Didn't Try to Call Me and Trouble Every Day. And so, moving on with my note here, obviously it's raw, it's bluesy, lyrically heavy, probably born out of like the riots in the late 60s, I think. And again, I'm not super educated in all that. Obviously, I wasn't around. But yeah, the song kind of critiques media, racism, and societal unrest, Those are the 3 topics that I narrowed it down to. I mean, each verse and stuff is pretty much about those 3 things. And it's, delivered with a biting mix of cynicism and urgency, I guess. Those are the words I wrote down. I love that it starts with things like, I'm about to get sick from watching my TV, been checking out the news until my eyeballs fail to see. That sets up enough of it to go like, oh, okay.
The sort of inflammatory propaganda that's bound to happen at any given point ever.
I hate watching the news. That's my first relatable part to the song. My first relatable... I can't think of words at the moment. Agreed, yeah?
Yes, agreed. I don't care to watch the news. I never really have. As a kid, I didn't want to watch the news. I was like, this is just... it's either boring or depressing. There's nothing else. And I feel like that stands true today. And I specifically don't watch the news. And some people will say to me, some people will judge me for that, right? And they'll go, how do you live your life when you don't know what's going on? And I could ask them the same question. How do you live your life watching the news every day? Because when you watch the news, they explain, I'm just trying to live my life. I'm just trying to get out of bed every morning, get out the door with clean clothes and my, after having brushed my hair and my teeth, show up at work, not be an asshole while I'm there, make it through the day and get back home. You want to add to that and tell me that people are dying and suffering and struggling, and I appreciate understanding that your world expands beyond your little bubble.
Mm-hmm.
But I do. And being reminded of the specifics of that on a daily basis is just going to depress me to the point where I might not be able to get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. So it sounds like we're on the same page. Like for me, I would use the word empathy. I have a large amount of that just lives within me. So much so that I can't even watch like a Muppet movie without bawling sometimes. Like I have empathy for felt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just the type of person that when the news is obviously very real for the most part, and when it's being presented the way it is, and I know it's about real people going through real things, that my empathy just goes into overdrive, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't handle carrying the weight of so many other problems and other people's problems as well as my own. And I've been misunderstood so many times with that of like, oh, so you don't care about other people, you only care about yourself. And no, I care so damn much about other people that it breaks me to have to expose myself to the extreme negativity that is being displayed. And then later in the song, Frank talks about something like, no one blabs it faster, our coverage can't be beat, and all that. Like the news station is bragging about like, and we'll bring it to you first. You heard it here first, like that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And that bothers me on a whole other level, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like you're kind of glamorizing negativity. That's how it always feels for me. And I know there's going to be lots of people that are, like you said, like, well, how do you not, tune in and get, up to date and up to speed and educated on stuff? And I'm like, I do that in my own way.
Yeah. It's sweeps week. We got to get those ratings. So get the real sob stories out there.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All that. And I'm like, yeah. You just made me think of how, like, get the sob stories out there. And why? So that people, it's like they just want the people who are watching the news to just react. It's like, oh, you're going to make everybody react. It's like, well, no wonder, like I said off the top, like there's so much clinical depression in the world, I say that with respect. So I apologize if I giggle or chuckle or something. It's not out of root. It's out of, a little bit of discomfort. But yeah, no, this is definitely our darkest topic so far. I didn't want to leave out that aspect of my heart, right? We are HeartATtrack, so I figured better bear all, My favorite thing that is said in this song, and I'm hoping you caught it when you listened, was on verse 2, he says, "You know something, people? I'm not black, but there's lots of times I wish I could say I'm not white."
Yeah. Yep.
And
I did.
I'm like, bang on. Like, that's, yep. And the fact that was said by a white man well, he might have different background. I'm not
right, but the point still remains the same. It still holds water.
There's a lot there in just that little sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, it gets me tongue tied and makes me kind of sweat a little bit because my biggest thing in this life is I don't want to upset people. I don't want to trigger people and all that stuff.
Yeah, but as white people, the number of villain points that we have racked up,
well, yeah,
is insurmountable.
Like, yeah. It's like, thanks a lot.
As they say, we got it coming.
Yeah, I guess so.
Whatever it is, good.
Well, it's just one of those classic things of like other people ruining it for people who are, not the same behavioral patterns as the people who are ruining it, I've kind of said before, even to you, that this song is more of a blanket feeling for me of just like, I have a very hard time watching the news because it makes me very sad and depressed because of how much I care for people. Obviously, racism is something that I'm very upset by when I see it, hear it, witness it, any of that stuff. I'm like, okay, no, this is a problem to an insurmountable degree. And the third verse is more, I think the third verse is more America driven, so I can't really, he says our country isn't free and all that. So I'm going to leave that up to you to comment on if you so choose. But, it's being Canadian, I can't identify too much with verse 3. But, yeah.
I'm going to abstain at this point. I feel like I didn't hear much of the lyrics at that point.
What is your connection to Zappa then? Are you cool with throwing that in the mix just yet?
Sure. You know what? I will throw that in the mix. And man, boy, did I not plan on this, but I think I have to do it. So I had the conversation with you and with our listeners that I've got some catching up to do, right? With the fact that Marissa was doing this show before me, and the fact that, sometimes if you have 2 songs, I may only have one, or in the case of last week, you had 1 song and I had none.
Yeah.
You have 1 song this week and I had 2.
Yeah.
And actually, I think I'm going to have to up it to 3.
Interesting. Okay.
Because Zappa... So I grew up with Zappa. My dad was a massive Frank Zappa fan.
Nice.
I grew up with him sort of playing in the background sometimes. I remember being just enamored with the cover of Weasels Ripped My Flesh.
Yeah.
Because
it
was
was a crazy one.
Both cartoonesque and gory and sort of like a little bit retro. And you know me, the listeners don't know this about me yet, but I grew up to be a special effects makeup artist. On the side, it's not what I do as my primary gig, but he was always kind of in the background. But the most impactful moment that I had with I'll say my inherited appreciation of Zappa from my father is I was in the car with my father, with my dad. We're driving and a song came on the radio. And this would never show up on mainstream radio. It was a Sirius XM station that had specialty stuff because, Zappa doesn't wind up on mainstream stations.
No.
But all of a sudden, this motherfucker goes, "Watch out where those huskies go. Don't you eat that yellow snow." And oh my goodness, I felt it, just this full body sensation of what the actual fuck is happening.
Yes.
I was late 20s, if not early 30s, when I heard this and understood that it was a song that existed. Because, dads, they're always making shit up.
Yeah, but it's always coming from somewhere that they heard, and then they take the credit for it.
No. All I knew that I was hearing something on the radio that my dad would just sing randomly every winter. I thought he made that up.
Yeah.
So when it played over the radio, it blew my mind like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy what? What? That's an actual song? And of course, my dad had no frame of reference. He didn't know that he had me under the impression that he was making it up the whole time. He was like, Rip.
Right.
Zappa, dude.
Oh.
And I'm like, wait, no, what? My entire, just everything got upended. But yes, my connection to Zappa is through my father. Had a lot of his albums. I was hearing a lot of his music in the background as a kid and didn't understand it. But, as I grew older, got to know it a little better. Very fondly.
You're going to toss Don't Eat the Yellow Snow onto your playlist.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's rad.
I gotta.
I think that might be his second highest charting song.
Wow.
I believe, yeah, he only had 2 come on to the Billboard Hot 100. And I won't tell you what the other one is, but Don't Eat the Yellow Snow, I know, ranked pretty high for a while, from the album Apostrophe, 1971, I believe that was. And yeah, he's got some cool stuff. And that's a classic, if not the most classic Frank Zappa song, Don't Eat the Yellow Snow, for sure. That's cool that your dad tossed him your way. I absolutely could not say that my parents or anybody in my family introduced me to Frank Zappa. I have Weird Al Yankovic to thank for that. So,
No.
and we'll touch on why in a future episode. But my parents were very unaware of who he was, really. They might have heard his name growing up, in the 80s. He had the song Valley Girl, which has his daughter Moon Unit doing vocals on it.
Yes, Moon Unit.
Yeah. And so I think my parents kind of knew that name a little bit.
Yes.
But no, I have Weird Al specifically to thank for my referencing over to Frank Zappa, going, oh, I like this style. So what do we have to listen to from you?
Well, as I have said, I don't care for and have never cared for watching the news.
Yeah.
And have been judged for it.
Oh, yes.
And, people talk about current events or they talk about politics or whatever. And man, when they just start, when they start talking, I just glaze over. Very much like the lyrics in the Zappa song you just shared. My eyes stop working. I just go elsewhere. It's very close to an out-of-body experience where I'm just not processing any of it. I'm like, well, that's fun. And I'll process a couple of words here and there, and I have a general understanding of what's going on big picture-wise. But I'm not going to sit there and listen to an argument from this person on this side and that person on that side. And I can't stand it because it's so depressing to me. And I've been like that for as long as I can remember. And my mother was actually one of the people who was somewhat judgmental about me not wanting to keep up with current events and not wanting to watch the news.
Oh.
So in my teen years, my mother was trying to get me to watch the news.
Okay.
And she decided that a fun tactic would be, okay, we'll watch the news, but we will turn it off as soon as you call out 3 grammatical mistakes.
Oh.
Because I was an intelligent kid, and the newscasters make grammatical mistakes all the time. And the fact of the matter has always been that if you're going to tell me that like people are dying that I can do nothing about, or my life is going to be upended and I can do nothing about it, it's going to make me glaze over. So in her attempt to make it a teaching moment, she was either going to help me refine my grammatical skills, which, I had a lot of creative passions at the time, one of them being writer. And so that interested me. And so she used that to both teach me and motivate me to pay attention enough to make us turn it off. It was a brilliant tactic. We're going to watch the news every night. We will turn it off the second they make 3 grammatical mistakes. Fun fact, we never watched the news for more than 10 minutes. But because of that, because your prompt was, the first half of your prompt was news.
Yes.
And we've already talked about how we're both massive Weird Al fans. I felt it only appropriate to throw word crimes onto my list.
Oh, wow. Right. Okay. That's pretty cool. I would be lying if I said I didn't think of that song as you were telling the story.
It's so good.
Big time, yeah, from the 2014 album Mandatory Fun.
Yes.
And I believe the highest charting song from that album, too. Yeah.
So good.
That, extremely cool. Well,
We have genuinely lost the word literally.
Oh, yes. Oh,
And I
yeah.
do mean genuinely. I think I had this conversation with my aunt not too long ago, to where it has now been officially defined as literal or figurative, just because of the overuse of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Meaning figurative. So now we, as the memes and the hoity-toity folk, I suppose, will say, we literally don't have a word that means literally anymore.
Yeah.
It's very upsetting.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I remember the good decade where that just kept being overused and overused and overused, and I'm like, holy shit, people, you either mean figuratively or I can't I'd have to think of examples.
Oh my god, I'm literally dying right now. Well, bitch, let's call 911.
Yeah.
And you can pay for that ambulance ride to nothing.
Yes. You also doubled up on something that annoys me because the usage of the word no. The usage of the word literally followed by right now. I'm like, you think that what your mom did there with the grammatical errors and stuff and finding that each night was a fun game? Here's a fun drinking game, everybody, to be less of a sourpuss than I was last week. And there's something I want to say about last week. We'll get there in half a second. Here's a fun drinking game for when you're watching any television, not just the news. Anytime you hear the phrase right now, take a shot, and I guarantee you'll be at the hospital in about 5 minutes or less. That phrase is so overused in commercials and shows and stuff. And it's a whole other reason that I don't watch a lot of traditional television like that, because I'm just like, people are going, what's going on right now? Or like those kind of things irk me. It's so overused. It's like this sense of urgency of like, right now at your local car dealer, you can do this, or come on down and get this from Burger King right now. And I'm like, bitch, it's 4:00 in the morning. If I go, quote, right now,
I'm fucking busy.
Well, not only that, but if I go right now, you might not even be open right now. So it's like, I don't know. Again, more things that make me an accidental asshole too. I don't know, man. There's just phrases and stuff like that. So I get it. Yeah. So we're kind of dabbling in news and the emotion of how that makes us feel, but also horrible grammar brought to you by such things. Interesting. Well, I know the song Word Crimes extremely well, so for the sakeness of time, we should probably we don't have to toss it on.
Oh, yeah. But listeners, if you don't know it, go check it out. It's amazing.
Absolutely. And we may or may not be talking about that song
by Weird Al, by the way. Did we not say that? Did I not say it?
Oh,
I think I referenced Weird Al because I was like, okay. It's fine.
We both enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird Al Yankovic's Word Crimes. Yeah. That's a brilliant, brilliant song. And I don't want to talk too much about it myself just yet. Wink, wink.
Well.
So it makes total sense. I get the choice there. I know you have another song that I'm excited to know what that is as well.
I do. Because, this is we had a super vague conversation about this beforehand, that I had a very heavy song coming in.
Yeah.
Because how this podcast works is you have your playlist of 1,000 songs and they're ranked.
Yeah.
So as you go from 1,000 to 1, we're moving in an ascending direction as far as personal significance.
For me, yeah.
Right. But me
Yeah.
being along for the ride and trying to match the tone and sort of throw things on my playlist when I feel they're applicable,
Right.
mine aren't ranked. They can't be. I can't plan them to be, or this wouldn't
Yeah.
be organic and off the cuff.
Right.
So what has happened is with this prompt of the state of the world, which was the second half of your prompt, news,
Yeah.
the state of the world. Honestly, I didn't want to get quite this deep, quite this early, but I can think of no song I would rather have fill this spot than a song that, if I had a playlist of 1,000 songs ranked in ascending order, this would be at least in the top 100, if not in the top 50.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
So
That's why I'm excited.
So the state of the world was the prompt, right?
Yeah.
I think we can all agree that times are hard because they're hard for everyone. It seems so universal. You and I were, when we were chatting casually the other day, just had this conversation. Everyone seems to be going through it.
Yeah.
Now and for the past few years.
Definitely. Yeah.
And COVID was a big thing. 2020 was a big turning point where everything just got so bleak. And ironically, in the year 2020, I watched the most news that I have watched in my life because I got laid off from my job. I was trying to keep my finger on the pulse. And it just reminded me why I don't watch the news.
Yeah.
It was
kidding.
so depressing and simultaneously addicting. What's happening now? What's the newest update? And it's like I could just be doing my own thing and trusting that, I'll get word once anything is worth hearing. But no, I was watching easily 6 hours of news a day because I had nothing. I had no job. I had no prospects because a pandemic had frozen everything.
Yeah.
And the song that I'm adding to my playlist was actually released in 2020.
Oh, okay.
And it's not, ironically, that was not on purpose, which will make sense in a second. It wasn't like related to COVID or anything. But I actually didn't hear it. I wasn't introduced to it until the year 2022, which happened to be the actual hardest year of my life. The song I'm adding to my playlist is actually called Welcome to Hard Times by Charlie Crockett.
Okay. I'm not familiar with the artist, so I think we should toss that one on.
You're still listening, heart attack, and your hopes will be right back. You're still listening to heart attack, and your hopes will be right back.
That's a cool one.
I know it's not quite your genre, but the lyrics are the big one for me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. No, and that wasn't you're referring to country,
Right.
Western kind of vibes.
Yeah.
That was a certain style of country or folk kind of stuff that I do enjoy. So that wasn't, in no way that one unpleasant or anything I would dislike. I appreciated.
Good.
Yeah, I appreciated the whole thing. Yeah. Yep. Don't worry, I won't crap on it because it's special to you, but also I genuinely was like, I get it for sure,
I before I get into I'm not avoidant. It's not that I don't want to talk about this story.
Right. Right.
But before we get into it, what are your thoughts just based on listening to it and hearing lyrics?
Well, I mean, it fills me with a bit of a... I love when a song sounds like it understands you emotionally.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure.
And with the lyric "Welcome to Hard Time," also the title, it's basically, how do I want to describe this? It's basically like saying, I get it. You're, as you often say, going through it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of the genre and the way the song sounds, even just musically, if it was an instrumental, sounds like kind of a friend putting their arm around you while you're weeping, you know? And
Wow.
then you introduce the lyrics and him kind of going like, yep, I see where you're at. I understand where you're at. Welcome to it, you know? But the song feels like it's the type of song that's like, don't worry, I'm here, you know?
Yeah.
I love a song that does that. Of course, I didn't retain much of the verses because it wasn't a lyric video. It was just the song itself.
Yeah.
But
Well, we'll get into it in a
that's
sec,
the first vibe.
promise.
Yeah, yeah.
But before I get into the depth of the big story, identity protection time. Spencer, pick a name, any name, a male name.
I was gonna say, let's go with Carl.
Oh my word. Okay. Carl will
Why?
do. No, we will discuss the coincidence of that afterwards.
Okay. All right.
No, you know what? I'm going to say it. Carl was my father's middle name.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So, no, we'll go with Carl. That works.
All right.
The thing is, I said, this song came out in 2020,
Yeah.
which was not on purpose, but poignant in its timing, as you now know.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear it until 2022.
Yeah.
Which was the year my father passed away.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
Yep.
remember, I think a couple episodes I mentioned to you, I've had like a fair amount of musical Sherpas, as I refer to them in my life. You are one. I've got a couple others, and one of them is Carl.
Oh, okay. The Carl that I just named.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And Carl is a coworker / boss / it's a small company, so it's muddled.
Yeah.
He's my boss for sure. But there's also a boss that's above both of us and another boss above all of us, and it's a mess. And when my father passed away, Carl, among other friends and other coworkers, were super supportive. But I had this moment, right? There were a handful of friends that helped me move a lot of my dad's stuff from his place to my apartment that I wanted to keep.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And there was a night where 3 or 4 of us were hanging out at my apartment after one of those moves, where the place was an absolute mess because I'm overfilling my apartment essentially. But one of the parts of the mess was stacks and stacks of records and CDs. And Carl has not only served as a musical Sherpa, like you and a couple other people, but I feel like he communicates predominantly through music.
Oh, yeah.
And he did the most amazing thing. He flipped through my dad's vinyls, just looking at what dad had in his collection. That's it. There were less than 100 vinyls in the stack he was flipping through. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it was like he gained a superpower to where he could go, I bet your dad liked this, or I bet your dad was into that, or I bet your dad would have said something like this. And every time he did that shit, it was eerily accurate.
Oh, okay.
And he'd never met my father, ever.
Oh, wow.
And there were, that was a thing sometimes. Another coworker was into comic books, and my dad was into comic books, and he flipped through a few comic books, and he was like, I bet your dad was into some of this and some of that. And it'd be like, yes on the this, but no on the that. Right? And another coworker would have some other insight because he was helping me clear out Dad's house. But Carl was really the guy who suddenly felt like my line of communication to my dad that I didn't even know existed, because I don't dive as deeply into music as a lot of people do.
Yeah.
I love it, and I don't understand why I don't, but I just don't, which is sort of a weird explanation as to why I don't know a lot about a lot of music, but I deeply appreciate my musical Sherpas, you included.
Yeah. Cool.
And he was very helpful to me and very supportive of me and helped me get through some of the hardest parts of my grief on that front.
Right.
And he's
That's
actually the one who introduced me to Charlie Crockett.
Right.
And Welcome to Hard Times.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so...
I could only assume that's where we were headed.
Yeah. It was so poignant. First of all, I love his voice. And I remember...
Yeah, he's a good singer.
Referring to it at some point. I think Carl, at some point, offhandedly invited me to a concert that he wound up not taking me to. But...
Oh.
It was fine. He was drunk.
Sure.
We were both drunk. I was super excited. He was super excited. Nobody pays attention to it the next morning.
Now
but-
you got to say sorry again.
Yeah. Sorry. But I remember, getting that text and going, hell yes. And in my excitement, in my, drunken excitement, texting him back, that motherfucker has a voice that's just honey dipped leather. And it was a drunken choice of words, but to this day I stand by it. I think it's a very good descriptor of his voice.
Oh, sure. I would agree with you. Yeah.
And when you get into the lyrics of it, the very first line of the song is "Life's a casino."
Right. Yes.
And that really just cuts to the quick, doesn't it? Because it's not always about skill or education. More often than not, it's actually about luck, which is a depressing thing. But it is.
Yeah.
And another lyric that hits me pretty hard and relates directly to my 2022 of grief, which, folks, if you've lost someone, you might know. If you've lost a parent, you do know. It's its own thing. And it's so much. It's so much. And it hits everyone in a different way. But it's always unpredictable. The journey of getting through the grief is not linear. And you can tell as soon as it hits, the people who have lost a parent will come up to you and treat you one way, and the people who haven't will come up to you and treat you another way.
Yeah.
And you immediately see the line in the sand between those who have lost a parent and those who have not.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Because there's nothing. There's nothing that you can do or say except that you've been there, so you understand, and then step back, because it's not linear.
Which is crazy, because that's kind of how I was describing the song in a small way of it understanding you, you know?
Yeah.
Because obviously when we listen to a song, there's a good portion of us that's adapting what we're hearing to, like, we're influencing the song in a way in our minds to feel relatable. Does that make sense?
The listener's interpretation, in the eye of the beholder, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were like, ooh, okay, a little bit of this is hitting me in the feels. And it's not that you're forcing it to be relatable. It's like enough of it is that you kind of want to just throw your arms around the song and go like, thank you for understanding. But yeah, I think there's a certain percentage, I don't know what it would be, like, you know, a 90-10, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Of, oh, this song really does get me, and I'm going to allow the vibe, the lyrics, and even maybe some lyrics that don't hit the nail right on the head, I'm still going to allow those to be like, yeah, this song gets me.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. The next lyric I wanted to touch on was part of the chorus, which I think a lot of people can probably relate to in the context of going through it. Do you like sinning? Or, no, let me not misquote it. Excuse me. Do you like sinning?
Right.
No? Well, you will before you go.
You will before you will like it, or you will do it?
You will like it before you go.
Probably, well, technically, now that I said that out loud, probably both. Because obviously you have to do it in order to like it. So.
For sure. But, you know, one assumes that you naturally do beforehand and might not like it. Depending on what you define as a sin, some of them, I mean, some of them are unavoidable. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the question is, do you like it?
Right.
And the obvious answer is no. So then, you know, the response is no. Well, you will before you go. And when you're that deep, when you're struggling that much.
Right.
That's all that's there. That's all that's available. And it does, it changes you. It changed me.
Yeah.
2020 and 2022. And frankly, 2023. I have not recovered. I haven't.
Yeah. Well, hey, there's no way to delay that trouble coming every day.
There you go.
You know? Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like my entire personality has changed, or like I've lost myself, or like I have become darker than I once was and am unrecoverable. And it just is a feedback loop into the concept of not wanting to watch the news and not wanting to look at the big picture and just retreat and regroup and not rediscover myself. I feel like I've gotten to the point already where I understand that who I was is gone. I think I'm in rebuild at this point, honestly.
Yeah.
And
well, that's all right though. Like that's.
And there's
hopefully you don't feel any. Oh, sorry.
Say again.
I was just gonna say, hopefully you don't feel any like shame or guilt because of that, like holding pattern you're in or stage you're in.
Oh, I do. But that's just the driving force that I need.
Yeah.
To pull out of the tailspin and move on and rebuild.
Gotcha. Okay.
another big line for me is the point where he says, look, look into my eyes and what do you see? Aside from the reflection of what I'm literally whole ass looking at, right?
Yeah.
And I wonder if first of all, you would notice. Second of all, you would give a fuck. These are not verbatim lyrics. Probably listen to the song, guys.
Yeah.
That I'm having a shit time. The line is, would you notice? Would you care?
Right.
They're two different questions, but they assess the same concept.
Sure.
Which is, are you paying enough attention to me to understand that I'm going through it?
Right.
That's the notice. The care is, do you have the time and energy to give a fuck that I'm going through it? And if everybody is going through hard times, no, nobody cares.
Yeah.
It creates...
That's semi-debatable. I get the feeling for sure. But I think that's semi-debatable to a small degree.
Please debate it. Because I have felt so isolated for years.
Mm-hmm. Well, take the prime example is just ourselves, right? Like there could be, to pull back a slight curtain to the listeners, it's just a peekaboo behind the curtain. Don't worry. But,
peekaboo. Sorry.
Unexpected, but fun.
I gotta lighten the mood a little. I'm about to cry.
Oh, it's all good. We're all good. You'll be the first person to cry on the show.
I'm not gonna. I won't do it. Not today.
All right. Maybe I technically am, because in episode 1 with Marissa, I got teary-eyed just because I was like, oh, I'm finally starting this and all that. But anyways, I didn't full-blown cry. It was like a single little tear that sucked back into my retina. Anyway, because that's how eyes work. But, no, I would debate it by using you and I as the example, because you could be having a total bullshit-filled week, as could I, and we still have our own private phone calls, which obviously should be obvious we have been for 6 years, and we still do, even though we're doing the podcast together, we still have deep friendship conversations when there's no microphones turned on. And I think we both allow each other to go, this is what's going on with me, and vice versa. Yeah, oh, I hear you, I understand, or I'm sorry you're going through that. Here's my shit. Or our dynamic sometimes is, this is your brain to mine, Ripley's brain to mine, going, I don't necessarily want to talk about all my crap. I'd rather either have a pleasant conversation with a friend, or you tell me about your crap so I can forget about mine.
Yes.
That kind of stuff.
I'm very into distraction.
Yeah, and I think that's why we work as long distance friends who talk very, very often. Is phrase that for me one more time, the last thing you said.
I'm very into distraction.
You're very into distraction, and I'm very into, I need to talk this crap out in order to literally get it out, of my brain, of my heart, of my system, whatever. That works for us. So I wasn't feeling personally attacked or neglected there with your statement or your thought, but it's more my encouragement to anybody who is ever sitting in that literal... No. I'm not going to do that to you. Use the word literal when it's not at all literal. When you're sitting in that metaphorical pile of shit, because no one's literally doing that. Yeah, I was going to say literally sitting in a pile of shit. Isn't that stupid? That's really stupid, isn't it?
Oh, gosh.
I mean, diaper,
I'm good.
Yeah. So for those of you who wear adult diapers, my apologies. Maybe some days you do literally sit in a pile of shit. But for anybody else, your pile of shit is probably metaphorical. So when you're going through that, I'm glad we were able to find some laughter in the middle of all this. But in a serious train of thought, if you're going through that and you feel like no one cares, even if there is acknowledgement, like your song says there about noticing, it's like some people may be informed that you're going through some crap, but the people who actually care, as the song also asks, are the ones who go, hey, yeah, I'm going through some crap too, but I'd love to go grab a coffee with you, or I'd love to have you over for a hangout. Let's do a puzzle together and just talk about our shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's my response to your thought, is like, you always have at least one person, or you should have at least one person who's like, I don't judge what you're going through. I don't judge you for how you feel during it. If you don't watch the news, I don't care. Come over and let's be authentically ourselves. As we were saying last week, it ties in a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I still have a clarification to make about last week, but I don't want to throw it a wrench in the gears.
Oh no, I think I'm done. That's just, that song is the epitome of my opinion on the state of the world. It came out in 2020, which makes me happy because it wasn't on purpose, but that was the perfect coincidence. I was introduced to it in the year that my father died, which is the hardest year of my life to date. It was introduced to me by Carl, who is a beloved musical Sherpa like yourself. And actually, at one point, for a birthday or Christmas, or maybe just because, he gave me a key tag. A hotel type key tag, that style thing. For a Hard Times Hotel.
Oh, wow.
And that's been on my keychain, and it will be until it breaks off, which it has tried to a couple of times. But that's
pretty sweet.
A very, very important song to me, and absolutely would be in my top 50. But that's all I have to say about that one. So
that's cool.
We can move on.
Well, I'll just respond and segue by saying all your thoughts, extremely valid, relatable to more than just me, I'm sure of it. Thanks for being that transparent on only episode 10, but I guess I queued it up, so.
That you did.
But I love the keychain thing is it becomes something that feels like it's on brand for you as an individual. Like, you got this song and you got this keychain and you're like, yeah, this is representation of a piece of me, you know?
It's always there with me on a day-to-day basis. You know, when I leave the house, when I start the car, when I come home, when I go into work.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of cool because that's how I feel about my phone now, which obviously this day and age, all of our phone is more than just a phone.
Right.
But we call it a phone.
As another boss of mine will say, is your Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
That's
you
right.
have a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in your pocket. You know, why are you asking me what this is when you have all of the answers to everything right there?
Right. That's true. But even I'm narrowing it down to the fact that it's also my iPod, my MP3 player, whatever, you know, it's got all my music in it. And obviously, over the 3 to 4 months that it took me to make the HeartATrack playlist, I've been feeling the same way you kind of describe about your keychain, about just the fact that that playlist is in my pocket at all times, you know?
Yeah.
And if I need to pull my phone out of my pocket and go, okay, I either need to put it on shuffle or I need to go to song number 563, that's just a random number I pulled out of my head, and go, oh yeah, okay, let me hear it. Like it feels like I've really done this soul searching stuff, and it's, yeah, where you go, yeah, this is on brand for me. This represents pieces of me. So I think that's really, really cool when people are able to do that. Speaking of on brand, I want to do a correction from last week, because I used an example for something that was so stupid. It was the worst example I could have given. Well, there could have been worse things, but it was just such a brainless example of when I said, when people are like, I was so drunk, I did this. And my example was, if I go out and hit someone's mailbox with a baseball bat, I like to stand by the fact that I chose to do that. And I'm like, I'm not going to disclose whether I have or have not done that in real life, but let me etch-a-sketch that thought away and replace it with this. Yeah, shake it up and restart. Here's my correction for last week. I think it's silly when someone says, I was so drunk, I went up and sang Love Shack at karaoke. And I go,
listen, that feels like a personal attack.
Just hold on. Just let me say it all. I know. Just hold on. I knew that was going to throw me off. I should have chosen a different song.
Sorry.
But I think it's silly when people say, like, I was so drunk I went up and performed Sabrina Carpenter at karaoke. And I'm like, I don't need to be drunk in order to make that choice. That's like fun. It's like people think, in order to get up on stage and let loose, I need to be drunk. And I'm like, I don't. Like, so that's more what I meant of, like, you can have fun and make a crazy decision that isn't, publicly destroying property.
Mm-hmm.
And again, not implying that I ever did that. I was embarrassed that was my example. So just wanted to clear the air on that and go, like, decisions that people hide behind the fact they were drunk when it's actually just something you should be able to just do because it's fun to do. That's what I meant. What?
Nothing. What? Nothing?
I hear you snort laughing over there.
What? No, I farted probably.
Nah, you did that earlier.
Oh. Hey, shut up.
And it sounded like a car accident. I legit, when we were setting up, I don't know if I'll keep this in or not because you might kill me, but
no, it's fine.
When we were setting up,
it'll be in honor of Dad. It's so good.
Oh, solid. We're setting up and Ripley literally farts,
yeah,
and
fucking
I had my
busted
headphones
ass
on.
out of nowhere.
Yeah. And I thought it was a car crash in the distance. Like, I literally, she talks sometimes and she keeps her window open or whatever, and I can hear, like, sirens or even birds fly by if it's close enough. And I'm like, oh,
Baltimore.
Jeez.
It's always a train wreck over here.
Oh, wow. Well, that's what it sounded like a 18-wheel truck crashing into a taxi or something. I don't know. Too much bran in your diet, I guess.
Bite me.
Anywho's, isn't it nice that we're able to banter and laugh through all the sadness and pain too?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, if you took anything away from this week's episode, I really hope that it was, like I said earlier, if you're feeling really rough, try to remember who that even just one person is that you can go, I can reach out to them, and not only will they notice, but they will care as well.
Yeah.
And if the other lesson, it's much smaller because Ripley really opened up, and I appreciate all of that today. For me, it's just, if you have a certain level of empathy in your heart, don't feel ashamed for having to walk away from the sad stuff, because it's not because you don't care, it's because you care a tremendous amount. So, Next week, we will have another Respect the Classics. And don't feel obligated to choose one for that. This is just a song that I really respect and appreciate for its place in music history. But following that, we'll have a much bigger discussion surrounding a song that, again, this is always the hardest part of every episode because I don't want to give it away. A song about immortality. Yeah.
Alrighty, I'm gonna resist the urge to go straight to the Highlander soundtrack, which is mostly Queen anyway.
Oh yeah, that's right too. Yeah, just the concept of being immortal. Yeah, we'll see where that conversation takes us next week.
Sounds good.
Alrighty, we will see everybody next week for episode 11. And as a reminder, if you'd like to send us anything email-wise, if you connected with something today, send us an email at HeartATrackPodcast@gmail.com. And if we feel your story is fitting for another episode in the future, then we will share your story with your permission, of course. If you send us an email, like that's pretty much you giving us permission. So
Fair enough. Or
all good.
Comment, like, subscribe, all that jazz.
Yes, please do. We love to see the listener engagement. Really helps us know what you're liking, what you're not liking, and anything in between. Alrighty, we'll see everybody next time.
See ya.